If you are staring at your GLP-1 pen with a mix of hope and actual dread because you're tired of the nausea, the sulfur burps, or feeling like your stomach is made of concrete, I need you to listen. I've worked with hundreds of patients on these medications, and here is one part that no one explains. There's a myth that you have to feel sick in order for the medication to be working. That if you're not nauseous, you're not going to lose weight. That is a lie. Feeling miserable is not the goal, and it's definitely not the mechanism for how you lose weight with these medications. So today, I'm going to exactly explain why your gut may be throwing a tantrum, why Zepbound may be kinder than Wegovy, and I'm going to give you my GI stability protocol. All right, let's get into it. These medications mimic the incretin hormones GLP-1 and sometimes GIP in the case of Zepbound, and they can mess with your gut in two ways. First, they slow down gastric emptying. This is the speed at which food moves from your stomach to your small intestine. And the way to think about it is think of your stomach as a popular nightclub. Before the medications, the doors were wide open. Now that you're on the medication, it has hired a very strict bouncer, and he's only letting a few people out at a time. And when the line builds up, the crowd starts to get restless. That's your bloating, and that's your tight, full feeling. And if food sits in the lobby for too long, it starts to ferment. And that is where those sulfur burps come from. It's gas from food that has overstayed its welcome. And I know, it makes you feel like a swamp monster, but it's basically a traffic jam. But the nausea isn't only about your stomach being slow. These meds are also sending very strong signals up to the parts of the brain that control both satiety, which is what we want, and they also control nausea. Think of that GLP-1 signal kind of like walking into a loud room. At first, the music is blaring and your brain panics. That is the wave of nausea. But over time, your brain starts to adapt, kind of like how your ears get used to the noise when you're out at the club. And as those pathways adjust, that signal becomes the new normal. And for most people, this nausea, bloating, and sulfur burps will fade over the first few weeks of being on the medication, not only because your brain is turning down that volume on the loudness, but your brain and your stomach find a new rhythm and get better in sync. Now, let's go a level deeper. Why do some people feel like death on Wegovy, but feel totally fine on Zepbound? Well, first and foremost, Wegovy is a single hormone medication. It only contains GLP-1, whereas Zepbound is a dual hormone medication and it contains GLP-1 and GIP. And it seems like GIP helps to buffer that loud room nausea signal that's happening in the brain. In plain language, it may soften the intensity of that GLP-1 signal that's hitting your brain. And I've had plenty of patients who felt miserable on Wegovy, and when we switched them to Zepbound, they felt like themselves again. And best of all, they still got appetite suppression, they got weight loss, but they didn't feel like they wanted to vomit all day long. And if you're watching this and thinking, I need someone that can look at my exact case and help me to build a plan. Well, that's exactly what my one-on-one consultations are for. I don't change your prescription, but I help you to understand the science of your journey so you can talk to your doctor with confidence. Check out consult.drdanshub.com or head to the link down below in the description to get booked in with me today. Now that we've talked about the science and what's going on with your GI tract, how do we go about managing it? And I call this my GI stability protocol, which is 6 practical steps plus 1 bonus step for real people on real doses. Step number 1 is going to be micro meals. Since the bouncer is only letting in a few people at a time, we need to just send small little meals down rather than the whole crowd. Aim for 5 or 6 smaller meals spread over the course of the day instead of 2 larger meals to help ease up that bloating and nausea. Step number 2 is the pre-existing flag rule. If there was a food you had in the past that made you even a little bit nauseated, now is not the time to try it out and test it to see if that goes away. If it was a yellow flag food before, right now, it's going to be a big old red flag food. Get through the first few weeks, allow that nausea to calm down, and then you can go back to some of those foods. And now I want to hear from you. Drop a 1 in the comments if you have switched meds due to side effects, or drop a 2 if you are currently white-knuckling it through nausea. Let's see who's moved on, and let's see who might still be struggling a bit. Step number 3, fiber is fine, but processed is the problem. When your stomach is moving more slowly, people love to blame fiber. But in practice, it's greasy, fried, and ultra-processed foods that are brutal for a slowed down stomach. Switching towards whole, simpler foods is often the fastest way to help you clear out that traffic jam. Step number 4, watch the Gravol. A lot of people reach for Gravol when they feel sick. The problem though is that Gravol can actually slow down your stomach even more. So instead of taking Gravol, talk to your doctor about things like ginger, or if it's really severe, other prescription options that can help you to manage this nausea in the short term. And step number 5 is to hydrate with sips versus big gulps. Dehydration can feel like nausea, but chugging a liter of water all at once is only going to stretch out an already slowed down stomach and potentially trigger that vomit reflex. So instead of chugging, just do your best to take small, frequent sips over the course of the day to make sure you stay hydrated. And step number 6 is the turtle titration. If the side effects are brutal, you do not have to rush. Staying at a lower dose for a longer period of time gives your brain and body more time to adjust to the medication before you go up so that the side effects are much more manageable. There is no prize for finishing the titration schedule first, especially if you're not even enjoying your life. And a quick little bonus step, don't overthink the injection site. As long as you're using one of the approved sites with these medications, such as your stomach, top of your thigh, or back of your arm, and you're rotating your sites properly, that injection site isn't going to be anything magical for you. And I know, people will say, I was injecting in my stomach and then I randomly switched to my thigh and suddenly I had no side effects. But what's far more likely is that your body just happened to adapt to the medication that week you decided to switch your injection site. So continue to use a site that is comfortable and easy for you to reach, and focus your energy into the things that we know definitely work, such as a slower titration, smaller, more frequent meals, sipping and not gulping, and so on. Making you feel sick is not how these medications work. But for some, it can be an entry tax while your body adjusts. And I want you to hear that again. Nausea is not what leads to weight loss with these medications. Your side effects are simply data and not a failure. And if you're feeling miserable, be sure to talk to your provider about your options. And if you want a deeper one-on-one session with myself, again, go to consult.drdanshub.com or check out the links down below in the description. And if you're trying to protect your results and not just chase a number on the scale, well, this is the channel for you. I'm Dr. Dan. Hit that subscribe button. Check me out on my other channels at The Official Dr. Dan. And as always, please remember, it is those small tweaks that lead to the massive peaks.